Going live. We're live on YouTube. I've got Michelle Matheny with me today. I'm Dax Carlisle. Welcome to the Psychic Cafe. Grab your coffee or tea. Actually, I've got iced tea because it's freaking 95 degrees here in Tucson. What's it
Mm-hmm.
like
Let's
in
see,
Nevada?
today I think it is about 70 something right now.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's not real hot yet, but it's
I'm
gonna get up
getting
there.
I'm getting up earlier and earlier in the morning so I can go out on the patio and have my coffee and it not be like 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 6 a.m. Soon it'll be 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Dr. Rose.
Hello, hello.
Hey,
Dr. Rose is joining us.
can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Look at this thing.
Ooh.
Yay. You
Dex,
got the same mic, different color,
De-
but same mic.
Dex, you did not tell me how big this thing was. When I got in the open up the
It's
box, I was
big.
like, I know. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. There you go, Michelle. Your surprise of the day. Dr. Rose is joining us.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, we found out just yesterday, and she sent lovely pictures of her fabulous new studio. Uh,
Right.
it's she did it from farther away than what we're seeing right now, and you can see the whole setup with the desk and the computer and the microphones and the cameras and the backdrop looks fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, I've had this. I found this on Amazon actually, and I said, you know what, this is cool. I think I want to put
Mhm.
this on one of my walls because I'm notorious for not really putting up much. So that's where I got
It's
it from.
perfect.
And
Yeah, see, I have
sorry that you
Yes.
nothing on
guys
my
can't
walls.
see. Yeah,
I
sorry you
love
can't
it.
see the rest of it because I'm still figuring out the camera issue. I have a Chromebook. It only has like one USB connector, and I need
Oh,
two because I want to do. I have what is it, a webcam that I could put further where my stand is, so you can
uh-huh.
see a little bit more. But I can't do that because it has a USB connector, and so does the Yeti mic. So I said, okay,
Yep,
it's either
Yeti.
one or the other.
Yeah.
Now you need a dongle where you can plug it in and it has
That's
extra
right.
slots. Yep.
That's right. That's right. That's my next thing. And thank you guys
Yeah.
so much for inviting me and allowing me to test the mic. Today was going to be my time to test the mic. So I got up a little bit earlier, saw Dax, said,
Yeah.
"Hey, you want to join the show?" I was like, "Ooh, I'm not sure. Let me see."
Well,
So it was
I
good.
was just going to have a private Zoom meeting with you after the show, but then I was like, why don't you just come on the show and you
Why
can
not?
test everything out live?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your background in the picture you sent us on our group PM for the network,
Hmm.
it looked bigger this way.
It is. It was. It
So
could be
I'm
the
wondering if it's
camera.
a camera thing.
Yeah, see, this is the laptop camera, the Chromebook camera. It's not that great, which is why I
Mm,
need to plug in my other one. My other camera is a Logitech,
yeah,
and
Mm.
I've
that's
had
much
those.
better and a clearer picture, and it'll be a little bit further away so you would see more. But
Right.
at the moment, it's like I said, it's a competition. It's either the Yeti mic or it's the camera. It's the webcam. So, the Yeti mic won today. So when I get a new connector and whatnot, then I'll be able to do both, and things will work out. So yeah. Ooh,
Uh,
Wicked Witch. Is it Wicked Witch way? Oh, the
Wicked
sign.
Witch Way. Yes.
Wicket which way?
Yes.
That's fantastic. I
And you
like
can't
that.
see it like we normally do, but
Yeah,
you
I
have a
have my
coffee sign. You have a coffee sign back there too.
yes, I have
But
my
the
coffee
decks are
sign.
covering,
There we
you
go.
know, just to get in flow with our coffee theme being, Psychic Cafe.
Hmm.
Oh, shout outs to Dan, Michelle's husband in the chat. Maria is in there as well. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Yeah.
Have we started the live yet? Or
Yeah, we are live. We're on
oh, I
YouTube right
didn't even
now.
know.
You see,
Hi,
it's been a
everybody.
little while since Rose has been on a show. But we've
Yeah.
done multiple shows with Rose on the network. One was The Doctors Are In, and her and I did a Friday show, and that was fun. We did that for years. Oh my gosh. It's been so long. I don't know how long it's been since you've been on a show.
Oh my gosh.
I think you were on for our
I came
one of our
on one,
anniversaries.
Yeah.
yeah, a few weeks ago, wasn't it? Or something
Hmm.
like that, a few weeks or months ago. And that was fun. And then I have my YouTube
That was
channel
January.
still. Was it January?
Yeah. See, time fly.
Are you
It really
sure?
does.
I was in Germany. Was
Dan
I
says, is
coming
it
in from
live or is
Germany?
it Memorex? I'm so old, I remember those ads.
Oh, remember. Yes, I remember.
Me
Is it
too.
live or is it
Hi,
Memorex?
everybody, by the way. I am so sorry I did not realize we were live. Thought we were chatting in the Zoom room.
Hey, that's what the coffee social is. So during the week when we do shows, we call them coffee socials now because of the Psychic Cafe theme. On the
Uh,
weekends, we do our custom shows like Michelle's Mystic Corner. We
mhm,
call these Psychic Cafe Lives, and
mhm.
this is our coffee social. We've been doing them on Thursdays. We've had them on Mondays, Wednesdays. We came back to Wednesday. We were at 2 in the afternoon. Now we're 11 a.m. We're
Yeah.
trying out different times and different
Yeah.
days just to let the
Mhm.
audience know. Also, we have the Angelic View, the first and third Sundays, but they're on hiatus for summer. So we're just doing
Oh, wow.
Psychic Cafe shows every Sunday and we do a topic.
Mhm. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yep. We got some really cool stuff coming up. Actually, I wanted to let's see if I can grab the my notes on all this stuff here. Um, is this the right one? Haha.
What's
No.
today's topic?
Oh, no topic today. This is the
Oh, just
cafe
a coffee.
social.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
we're
cool.
we're just hanging out. If people want readings, they can pop them in the chat. We'll give some time. It typically takes 10, 15, 20 minutes for people to start getting into the live.
Mhm.
Except for our real regulars like Dan and Maria are always, boop, right in there.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
But we're doing how to prepare for your readings this coming Sunday. And then we're the Sunday after that, we're doing what is Sunday after that? The 25th. We're doing
Yeah.
guided visualizations with tarot.
I'm so looking forward
Ooh.
to that
Yeah.
one.
And
Yeah,
then
I remember you guys mentioned that in the last show, and I'm really looking forward to that. I was a big, still am a big fan of Mary Greer's books. I don't know if you guys remember that from
of
Hmm.
the
course,
tarot
yeah,
book.
yeah.
And she had a guided meditation. She would say, spread the cards out in a circle and run your
Mm-hmm.
hands over to feel the energy and close your eyes. And so that was always super cool.
Yes.
And we have to have a talk about borderless versus no, like these are no border cards.
Yeah.
But for guided visualizations, I actually like the ones with borders because you can think of it as a window or a door. And
Mm,
then what I do is I have the person visualize the card. And we just did a show on if you don't know how to visualize. We actually have a show for that. Yeah. How to build up your visualization skills because Michelle can't do that. Some people have no mind's eye, but you can cultivate it, right? And
yes.
so I have them memorize all the detail on the car. I usually put up a big giant one, and then I have them close their eyes and visualize it. Then I have them open their eyes and look at the card again. What details did you miss?
Mm,
And then close your eyes and visualize again. Okay, now move forward and step through the window, the door
yeah.
frame, into the scene, and then we go through a whole guided visualization. So
I'm
we're going to
looking
do a
forward to
show
that.
on that, but then we're going to start getting into more business things.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, after a recent show, what was our last one? Um,
Mm.
Let me bring up the network here and
I'm trying to go backwards.
yeah, we've
Yeah,
done so many
I was
shows.
in the chat room in the last one, and I remember
How
I
to
was
do online readings. And
right.
That was it.
yeah, and this is what happened though is I got feedback after and they were asking questions. And so people are looking that are either going to go pro or have already gone professional with reading cards and what have you.
Mhm.
They're looking for this information.
You know, It's not out there. I mean, there's not a lot of I've been looking up like, I
A
went to
little
Udemy
bit.
just to see a little bit.
Mhm.
I went to Udemy to see if they had any courses on it, and most of it is just about, learning the tarot and
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
certified.
Right.
And I also looked on TikTok. TikTok is not really talking about it that much. I mean, very little this information. I think it's something that people really need to know more about, tarot readers who wanna do this as a business.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
I was talking to our staff member, Gary Karp, who he's been under the weather for quite a long time now, and he's in rehab, recovering.
Mhm.
Had a stroke,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and Gary wants to come back,
Yay.
and we
Yeah.
talking about some topics for people, because there's tons of stuff out there how to read tarot.
Yes.
That's not what people need. Even if they're a really good tarot reader, which there is one thing I want to do, though, is I want to do a confidence in reading
Hmm.
series of workshops where, not the typical stuff, get experience, do readings with a bunch of friends and family members. I'm talking about becoming confident before you even start doing your practice readings, using
Right.
hypnotherapy and NLP techniques and life coaching, and take them through, the circle of excellence and all kinds of techniques, and do
Mhm.
some EFT tapping, because people have blocks about everything. Look at the whole. In fact, that's one of my topics. Is it spiritual to make money as a psychic, medium, or tarot reader?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that's a video I want to do. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do these all during the live shows and then just cut them out, which is what I've been doing, or
Mhm.
Hmm.
pre-record videos and just upload them. What do you guys think about that? That's a good one. Is it spiritual to make money as a psychic, medium, or a tarot reader?
I think that's an
I think,
important question. Oh,
yeah.
go ahead, Michelle. You go
Oh
ahead.
no, you go first. You go ahead.
Thank you. I was gonna say, I think it's an important question because I have seen just over the years people who, oh, if you really want to help, then you would have, you would do it for free, or your prices are too high, or something like that. And, when you think about it, there are various ways that even with religions or
Mm-hmm.
religious organizations, they make money as well. It's just in a different way. It's called a donation. Or
Hmm.
a tithe or something like that,
Exactly.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you are doing this, as a tarot reader and you're doing this as a real business, not just on the side whenever you feel like it, um, you are this is your business.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's come up for me, I don't, read tarot yet, but I want to learn it, but there's so many
Hmm.
things that are on my plate right now. But one of the things for me is that a tarot reader is really a life coach. If you
Yes.
think
Mm-hmm.
about it that way, because I know there's also that argument about pricing and, oh, I'm not going to make enough money if I just do
Yeah.
$30 readings or something, or $5, whatever it is. But I said, well, maybe you need to think of yourself as a life coach because that's what you're really doing, you know.
Yeah. And
Uh,
typically, life coaches charge at least what a licensed massage therapist charges, or a
Yeah.
psychic counselor, at least, minimum $150 per hour. And
right.
your readings might not be that long, but my rule of thumb is, when I started, it was about $1 a minute. So a 60-minute reading was $60. I mean, that
Yeah.
Right.
is today, that is cheap.
Yes.
You go on the psychic lines, they're charging $4.95 a minute, $6.95 a minute. Yeah, there's some free minutes thrown in there, but they're charging, five, six, seven, some $9 a minute. And the reason for that is a big chunk of that goes to the platform you're using, right?
Correct. Right. Right.
But in general, if I had to put a number on it, uh, some years back, I noticed that things had changed. And, it doesn't matter the product or service. We have a 3.5 to 4% increase per year. It kind of comes out to, I think what I remember hearing is, everything doubles in cost every 12 years. So
Hmm.
that's generally a rule of thumb. So some we've been doing this for decades and decades. So like after we started the guild, we just had our 20th anniversary. We're in our 21st year, almost 20 and a half years, basically. So a decade goes by or so, and I noticed that the average had gone from $1 to $2.
Yeah.
Well, now another decade's gone by, it's $3 bare minimum. So if you're doing a 20-minute reading, you should be charging $60.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dax,
And
I've had the pleasure of having one of your readings, and you do a lot. I remember the
the
numerology,
numerology, the
yeah,
tarot.
your personal numerology, and you add a lot to
Thanks
your
for that.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is the
I have
thing.
never had one. I've never had a reading from Dax, not a
Oh,
full-blown one yet.
Oh, we'll have to do that just for fun.
I
But
know, right?
yeah, and vice versa.
Yes. Ooh.
Because Michelle does numerology reports. I would love to see what you actually said and whether she screws it up. In a numerology report for me. No, I'm just kidding. I certified her. I know she knows how to do it. But no, it'd be fun just to see what you say and then pull cards. And that's typically how I do my readings. And I'm adding value. We were talking about pricing
Mhm.
by, I can just do a tarot reading, sure. But if I do your numerology and calculate your entire chart, put that in a report, email that to you even before we get,
Yeah.
on Zoom to do the reading. Last week was doing online readings, how to do them. And we talked about Zoom. And, before you even get on Zoom with them, they can go through all that. And a lot of times it'll, bring up new questions. It'll answer questions they were going to ask the tarot. And so now we can ask new questions because they have new
Right.
ideas, new directions to go in. It really adds value. It only takes a little bit of your time to do it, but you can charge more. You could also charge more by billing yourself as not a tarot reader, but a tarot coach or a tarot life coach, or an NLP coach that uses tarot, things like that. You can charge more. And if you think about it, you're really shooting yourself in the foot by charging for $30 readings, $40 readings.
Hmm.
Not only you, but the entire industry.
Right.
I don't care if you're a dentist or a plumber, a counselor, it doesn't matter what it is. This race to the bottom, what it does is it just turns a service into a commodity.
Right.
And that's not what you want, unless you can crank out a lot of those widgets, which when it's a one-on-one session, you can't do that. Now, yes, you can morph into group readings. That's
Mhm.
another clue there, where you can drop your rates back down to, instead of charging $150, you charge $50, but you get 10 people on a group call, that's $500. And it's the exact same amount of time that you're putting into it. But in general, most readings and most sessions, and you're trying to help somebody, life coaching, neurolinguistics, hypnotherapy, it's one-on-one. So you want to charge a lot because, first of all, that is the real value. If you're changing somebody's life, it's worth more than $30, folks.
It
if you
really
give
is.
if you give a business owner an idea that he or she implements in their business and their bottom line, gross receipts goes up by, say, $100,000, what's that worth? Well, the typical in the industry, whether you're talking about marketing, cost of marketing or cost of consulting, is approximately 10% of what you're, because if I bump you up $100,000, isn't that worth 10 grand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not saying, charge 10 grand, although there are people charging ridiculous amounts of money for services.
Yes.
Especially life coaches, there's $5,000, $10,000 packages, $20,000, $30,000 packages.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not saying that, but think of it this way. You increase your prices, what does that mean? Okay, I can make the same amount of money in that much less time. So if I want to make $300 and I'm charging $100, I need to see 3 clients. If I'm charging $30, I need to see 10 clients.
Yes,
That's a lot.
that's a
But
lot.
there's another factor, and we need to do a whole new show, a whole nother show on pricing your services. We do that every, quarter or so,
Yeah.
because it's so important and people don't realize what to do and what they should be doing. But
I
there's
I
not.
think it I think it also speaks to when you think about what is it, 3 versus 10 clients.
Mhm.
Um, you also have to do a lot of preparation. Like, people don't see that. They think, "Oh, you
Mhm.
just take a deck of cards and you pull out something and you give a
That's what
reading."
we're talking about on Sunday. Tune in, folks.
Right, exactly. Like, there's real preparation. If you're a good tarot reader, there's a lot of preparation that goes behind that, and that's
Yes.
a lot of so you're talking about even if it's 10 clients, an hour for the reading, probably a good,
Mhm.
hour to a 30 minutes preparation beforehand is
Hmm.
in addition to. So you're talking about 20 hours of work,
Yeah,
potentially 20 hours of work. That's a
but
lot.
but there's another aspect to it. The more you charge, the higher quality of client you get.
That's true.
That is true.
If you're
That
charging
is
20
true.
bucks at a psychic fair, it's a oh shoot, it just popped out of my head the word I was going to use. There's a word for that where it's just a frivolous thing, but there's a word specifically like in carnivals and such where it's a not a commodity. I said commodity earlier. I can't
Yeah, it's
I can't think of the word. There's a word for it where it goes from a valuable service that they're getting, to this, for fun, frivolous thing,
yeah.
and not that there's anything wrong with that. And if you want to go do psychic fairs and in-person things like that, and we have the Fourth Avenue Street Fair here in Tucson, why not?
Yeah.
Make a little money on the side and have a good time. It's just for fun. But to do it as a business, you need to
Yeah,
be charging more money. You need to be getting higher quality of clients, people that have a vested interest in transformation or reaching their goals or whatever you're helping them with. In
right.
in clinical hypnotherapy, I remember I've taken many hypnotherapy and NLP courses over the last 20 years, and almost all of them say it. In fact, I also took a uh, quitting smoking specialist course certification, and they all tell you, the instructors, you got to be charging a minimum $500. And I
Yeah.
know therapists, hypnotherapists that charge $3,000.
Are we talking about our favorite one, Steve Jones? He's probably charging more now
Steve
because he was on a
charges
reality show.
actually Steve charges $10,000 a session. He doesn't even
Yeah,
want to do sessions.
yeah.
Uh, but Michael Stevenson, that from Transform Destiny, that
Yeah.
by the way, I secured a special price on the course. If you want to take the same NLP, hypnosis, life coaching, EFT course that I took, time techniques, it's a course where you get 5 certifications. It's got everything in it. Get a hold of me. I'll get you the link.
What's
Um,
what's his name again? Steve Jefferson?
uh,
Oh,
Michael Stevenson, and because of Steve Jones, I always get them screwed up because Steve is part of Michael's last name, Stevenson.
Yeah.
And I got his course 10 years, 9 years ago is when I took his course. I call it the everything course. It's billed as NLP, but he has a whole separate course section of it on success coaching and life coaching, emotional freedom techniques, EFT, hypnosis plus the NLP. You can do it as home study, or you can go to one of their live events. It's all the same price. You get the ticket if you want to do it at home, and then you decide, oh, you know what, I want to go to Philadelphia or LA or Las Vegas, wherever they're holding it. You can go to one of their pre-scheduled live ones to get your certification. You could do the certification by videotaping yourself through all these things.
Oh, wow.
But
Yeah.
it's easier just to go to one of the live ones because you do all of the practice sessions and everything there. They have a whole group of people evaluating you, and then you just get your certificate right after. So contact me about that. It's the best thing on the market, best value. I mean, you don't have to take all these separate modalities, separate courses, each one costing thousands and thousands of dollars. It's all in one one course. But he charges, I think Michael charges also in the five to $10,000 range, But the point is that you got to charge a minimum $500. They have to have skin in the game. They have to know if they're, and when you're doing hypnosis with somebody, you're setting them up to succeed. So you're at the end, after the session, still within the session, but at the end, you're taking them through future circumstances. And, how do you feel when you walk into some place where you normally would smoke? Like for me and a lot of my friends, you can still smoke in the veteran service organizations. That's one of the things we loved about it. When I joined 13 years ago, I was smoking, and you go in, and it has a lounge, a bar, and you can just sit there and smoke to your heart's content. It's very difficult. Veterans smoke at a rate double the national average. Some active duty military and veterans smoke it 3 times, like Marines smoke 3 times the national average.
Wow.
The national average has come way down, but it's still up there for the veterans, and it's hard to quit when you walk and everybody's smoking. At least everybody else, for everyone else, places they're going, public places, you have to go outside.
Yeah.
In today's, so you're going to take them through some scenarios because you want to make sure. But still, once they get out there and they walk in there, and a friend of theirs, not knowing, offers them a cigarette, you have to have that psychological component where, oh, wait, that cigarette's going to cost me $500.
Wow.
So that's the difference between doing a $50, $75 hypnosis session to quit smoking with somebody and charging $500.
Right.
A lot of them are up in the, $650 to $1,200, $1,300 range now. And what I really love about it, though, is that it's the only service within any kind of life coaching or hypnosis. There's phobias, there's losing weight, all those things. Stop smoking is the only one where no matter how much you charge, it does not cost the client anything. Think about it. They're quitting smoking. That means they're going to spend $250 to $500 a month less.
That's true.
Because they've stopped smoking.
Right.
So if you're charging $500, a lot of people are paying $300 to $350 on average. Some higher than that, $400 or $500 a month on cigarettes and lighters and everything else. And then and even if you're getting really cheap cigarettes and you don't smoke that much, still you're spending $200, $250 a month. So 2 months go by, you not smoking, that's $500 you just paid for your session.
Yep.
But the psychological component is still there. I forked out $500. I'm not picking that cigarette up. And, you get a really high percentage of success then when you do that. So now let's, roll this all back into being a tarot reader. And a couple of the topics that I've written down deal with this. Problem clients, how to deal with them, people that don't want to take your advice, things like that. A lot of times, especially if they're popping on the psychic lines for 5 minutes, and then doing another psychic and another psychic 5 minutes, 5 minutes, or even if they're coming to somebody for $30, they're looking for the answers that they want. They want to be told it's going to be okay. They're going to get what they want. He's going to come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you just don't get the higher quality. You get the problem clients when you're charging 30, $40. You got to be charging $100 or do shorter readings. By the way, that's something else I wrote down. Shorter readings, people don't have the time. People want shorter readings nowadays. They want to get to the point. So do 15, 20-minute readings, but charge at least $3 per minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you do a 20-minute reading, charge at least $60.
Right.
At least double the real cheap ones doing like, $30. And
Can I share?
Absolutely.
I love to share something with you guys.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
please.
something so I used to work for the Pillai Center, which if you guys don't know about that, I mean, I know Dax
I
knows.
remember.
I stopped working for them for a little bit over, what's it, a year and a half now, I think. Excuse me. And we would have these different spiritual programs, right? And when we would have a program, we'd have a higher paying one where they get more things like different rituals that are done for them, or homas, or what they call the fire rituals. In addition, maybe a longer or a more specialized teaching session. And then you have the lower paying ones where they just got the basic teachings, right? And so I was talking to one of the customer service people because we knew each other. And I said, tell me something. Who do you get complaints from? Do you get complaints from the lower level, meaning that it was a lower price, or from the higher price? She said, "Oh, the higher price people are fine." She said, "No, it's always the people that pay the least, and they're always not every single one of them, of course, but they're just combative. I need someone to answer me right now, and
yes.
and she said it's never the people who are paying more. She said they don't complain, not at all.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's amazing. You will have so many problems with the lower price clients. And then if you multiply that, think about it. I have to see, like we said earlier, 10 times the number of clients if I'm charging $30. That means
Right.
10 times the problems.
That's right.
I'd rather see 2 clients and make $300 than
Yeah.
see
And
10
clients
$30
really
clients.
want to change, like you said. When you have a higher price, and these are people who are going to listen, and they're going to change. They're not going to jump necessarily from reader to reader to reader, or get whatever they're trying to what the answer that they're looking for. You don't want to have to spend a lot of time with people who are extremely resistant. That it makes no sense. You don't. That's a lot of energy that you have to put into that person. So that's a good way to think of it too, in terms of your pricing. Like, do you really want to? Because that's like a battle half the time.
Another thing is
You
it's the same thing you just said, but from the opposite perspective, that now you can invest more time and energy in one particular client versus, 10.
Right.
So you're not
Mhm.
splitting your energy.
Exactly.
You're able to help them more. So rather than going, oh, I have to help everybody and I have to help a lot of people. No, niche down to a
Yes.
particular specialty and raise your prices way up. Then you get the higher quality clients, the less of the the tire kickers, less of the people complaining, and you're really, really helping somebody because you're solving a problem. If I'm just doing tarot reading in the sense of fortune telling, you know, it becomes a commodity. You know,
Yeah.
what you want, and you're not really helping people. What you can help more people in a more powerful way by niching down. I know people go, well, I don't want to only see clients on a certain topic. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Right.
You're going to be able to charge more. You're going to be able to help them more. And, you know, just
Yes.
figure out something. You know, maybe you're the go-to romance reader. I help reconnect past loves, or, you know, help you find your twin flame, or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, there's medical intuitives, there's people that only work with entrepreneurs in business, and you're helping people with their business using tarot. And as I always say, add to your tool belt. So besides tarot, you want to have a bunch of other tools in your tool belt, like life coaching techniques, hypnosis, NLP, conversational hypnosis, emotional freedom techniques. Imagine you're doing a reading with somebody and something, by the way, you should always have a box of tissues if you're in person with them, because, you know, things come up. And if they get emotionally upset, you're able to key in on the emotion, have them talk about it, get them to give you on a scale of 1 to 10 what they're feeling and where, at what level. Is it a 3? Is it a 9? And then you can take them through rounds of tapping, and you can, you know, boom, just clear it
Well,
out for them,
huh.
you know. So
And you
you
know
want,
that
and you can charge more because you have these techniques. Yeah, Michelle.
that saying, you really want to help people who want to help themselves.
Right.
And that's exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for the people that really want to improve and help themselves, because they're the ones that are not they're not in it for the money. That's why they're willing to pay so much. They're in it to gain what they need.
And
So,
Dan
yeah.
says in the chat, higher paying clients are more willing to accept the truth for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yep.
Exactly.
And you can give them alternatives. You can say, okay, you know, if it looks like you're getting some of that pushback, you can always look at the cards, and it doesn't matter what you have down there, folks. You know, just look at the cards and go, okay, I'm seeing three different paths. You can do this one, you can do this one, or you can do this one, and then just end the session, and
I
let
see a
them.
new I see another course that could be possibly done, or topic, from something like, I'm not really great with titles, but Dax, you're like excellent with titles. So I would say something like, I don't know, from fortune telling to life coaching,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, because a lot of people come to it, and that's just our general understanding in the public, that tarot readings are like fortune tellers. You know, you have this lady with all this exotic,
Yeah.
you know, scars and rings, and oh, come here. Yes, I knew you would come, and, you know, give me $1 and I'll tell you your future, kind of thing. But
Right.
Yeah.
what you're talking about, and what we're all talking about, is the life coaching part. Like, how do you go from just telling fortunes? Hey, if you want to go to the fair and do it for free, and or whatever, low cost for fun, that's cool. But then there's also the life coaching, like, doing tarot as a business, whether part-time or full-time. Then you need to start expanding upon what you're doing. That's why you were saying all the other modalities. There are other
Mm-hmm.
that people can add to it, you know.
Real quick, hi to Sherry in the chat. Diamond came in and drops a Jupiter. And if you have a question or want to request a message from the universe, just pop it in the chat. I see a few of them. We'll get to that in just a minute. Going to finish up our conversation. See, we had no topic and we created one.
I
Yep.
know.
Yeah. But Dr. Rose, I'm glad that you brought that up, because it reminded me that where I wanted to go with this is I wanted to bring up about that you can position yourself so that you're not doing the fortune telling readings. So
Right.
when you put content out on YouTube and Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels and Instagram itself, and however you promote and all that kind of thing, maybe you have a newsletter you send out and all, you can talk about what it is, different aspects of the big problem you solve for people. you know so if you're the romance reader, you can do a lot of cool things around February, around Valentine's Day, right?
Right.
And really hype it up during that, but any time of the year, you could be talking about, you can bring on past clients that are willing to tell their story and how you help them get whatever goal it was. You can do a lot of um, testimonials like that,
Right.
and then break the topic up and the different aspects of what you do with a client, break it up into little 5 to 8 minute, 10-15 minute videos that you put out there, and of course you take those YouTube videos and you embed them on your website. And so when people learn about you, or when you send them to your YouTube channel, your Instagram, your own website, they start to get the idea, and then you're pre-selling them because you are showing the testimonials. If you don't have testimonials, hey, go out and do your thing and help a bunch of people and get some testimonials. And then you are preparing them. They're seeing how you work with clients. They will intuitively realize that, okay, they're not a fortune teller. They're a life coach, and I have this problem, and they're going to solve that problem for
Right.
me, or help me solve that problem is a better way to put it. And you can give people direction and coach them on any aspect of their life, with tarot and life coaching skill. For 20 years of the Tarot Guild, we have been, up till more recently, it was, Dr. Steve's life coaching course, because it was such a great value, and it's, unfortunately, I don't have an affiliate code for it anymore. So I haven't been promoting it, and we need to create our own life coaching course, really, and
Yes, I agree.
bring people from and kind of, we have my tarot course, tarot numerology course, and things like that. But take the guild is supposed to be for professionals. We should get more away from that and more helping people with their business, and then going from a fortune teller to transmuting. I can't think of the right word that I want to use, coming out of the cocoon as a spiritual life coach
Yes.
that just
Yes.
happens to use tarot, along with the life coaching techniques and other techniques from NLP and hypnosis that we can throw in there. And then you can charge more, you can see less clients, give them more value, and you can do it professionally, full time. It can be done. I know lots of people that have done it. Certified Tarot Grandmaster Christiana Gaudet is a great example.
Yes.
She is a full-time professional reader, and she reads it, traditional way. Not all of us can do that. And, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of competition. There are tons of people on YouTube. I've seen channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and all they're doing is, top down camera and just throwing cards down,
Yes.
Yep.
and they have a different, they do their nails differently each week, and they're mostly women, so
Right.
cuts
I
out us
mean,
guys right there.
I can't.
And they, I'm sure when they book a reading and they charge $50 or whatever they're charging, they're doing more fortune telling type readings.
I've seen it for people in
Yeah.
astrology too, where they do.
Yeah.
There's some really interesting things that people do in their astrology business, or sometimes they connect the tarot with astrology. Oh, here's a
yeah.
reading for cancers this month, or for
Yes.
whatever it is. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But from a business standpoint, somebody new coming in to build up your channel on YouTube or your Instagram account. I mean, some people go viral, but that's 2%, 1%. It takes time and effort and content, putting out content, and being very what's the word for it? Regimented about it. I post every Monday,
Consistent.
Wednesday, Friday, what's the word for it,
Consistent.
Rose?
Yeah,
Consistent. That's what I was
Yeah.
looking for.
consistency is really the key. Like,
It really is.
Oh, real
the,
quick, I just saw Janessa come in. I'm probably butchering your name, but they asked and they retracted the message, but they said, can I get a reading? Yeah, just type in, we're going to go to readings in a second. Just type in your specific question or say, can I have a message from the universe? We'll just pull a card. But to finish this up is for most people new, yeah, you can jump on a service and build up your clientele. You can start a YouTube channel, Instagram, whatever, and start putting out consistent content. But that's the hard way. That is the rough work. That is getting the $30 to $50 clients. Hey, Linda.
Hi,
joined.
Linda.
Hi, Linda.
That is getting the $50 clients, the $30 clients, having to see hundreds of clients make the same amount of money. The smart way is to get that niche, however you want to pronounce it. What is the big problem I'm solving for my clients? And all the content you put out, everything you do is talking about some aspect of that issue or thing, that you're working on them with, or problem you're solving for them. And then you don't have to wait a year, 2 years to build up the clientele to get enough clients to make a living. You only need to get a few clients and you're able to make the same amount of money you would with 10 clients. And you get higher quality clients and you don't get the complaints that you do, So there you go. I was going to do that as a topic, but on another show or as a standalone video. But thanks for getting us into that, Rose.
You're welcome. I'd like to
Absolutely.
say just one thing. I'm giving you guys a hint of what's coming up in the near future. So what I've been doing during my time away from the Psychic Cafe is working on, I'm a social media strategist, and I know a lot about social media and helping people find their target audience and strategies for their channels and whatnot. And I probably within the past year or so, I started to narrow down in a niche, which is spiritual entrepreneurs. So I actually do have another YouTube channel where I'll be talking about and specifically helping to guide people towards, okay, what can you do to build your presence on social media, and being very specific, like and how do you attract more followers, especially tarot readers is an area that I want to help people with. Spiritual life coaches is another one. I'm thinking even crystal sellers, but I'm not quite sure about that. That's a
Oh yeah,
possible.
tell Charlotte.
Yeah.
Well, you've already got me on 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just, stay tuned, everybody. I'll let folks know. And
Yes,
then
please.
I will be putting content out there, in bits and pieces, sometimes longer videos on my YouTube channel so that you guys know, what you can do and what it might look like and things of that nature. So, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a great resource for the Tarot Guild and our members. And, we're going to be doing a lot more of this business related content. And, we'll definitely have you on multiple times to talk about that. do like, discussions, little mini workshops, on say different aspects of social media and such. That'll be a lot of fun and very
Wow.
informative,
Yeah.
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 helpful for our members. Sherry came in as well. I got to scroll back here. What was the first question? Before we do that, I guess I should. We never did the card of the day, so
No.
I'm going to do the card of the day real quick, which was the King of Cups. The King of Cups in tarot encourages embracing emotional intelligence and wisdom to navigate life's challenges. It suggests that you have gained control over your emotions. He's on that rock solid granite throne, or what, rock throne, or whatever it's made out of. And you can make wise decisions both with your intellect and intuition. The card encourages you to be compassionate and empathetic, guiding your actions with wisdom and understanding. So, whether you're listening to this live or in the archive a day or two from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, 2 years from now, if you were drawn here, there's a message in that for you.
Ooh.
There we go. Card of the day. I also want to mention, before we move on, upcoming shows on the network. We've got Michelle's Mystic Corner this coming Saturday, May 24th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Right now that we've moved to Wednesdays with the coffee socials, and back to 11 a.m. Pacific. All of our shows are the same time. It's great.
Yeah.
I love when that happens. 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, May 24th. It's the Crown Share Saturday. This is a reoccurring monthly on the fourth Saturday show where you are encouraged to bring your deck, be in the chat with us. If you're one of our members, like, for instance, Linda here, you can jump in like she is right now onto the Zoom with us, and we'll all pull cards. And Michelle starts out by pulling a card of the day, and then we continue to use that card of the day along with other cards we pull to answer people's questions. It is the coolest segment. I just love this.
It's so much fun.
Every fourth Saturday. And
Yay.
then right after that, the next day, this coming Sunday, May 25th, we're doing Preparing for Your Readings. Yes. Rose, if you're not busy, come join us. And Linda, of
Yes.
course. And
Okay.
of course, we'll be doing some readings in live chat, but we have this topic where we're going to talk about preparing for your readings. Same bat time, same bat channel, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And then a week from today, next Wednesday, another coffee social. Everybody, all of our members, our staff members, our hosts, our past hosts, like Dr. Rose here, you're all invited to join us on the Zoom live. And you can also join us, of course, in the chat there. I just noticed that my thing is not centered there for some reason.
No.
Yeah, I turned on my OBS this morning to set up for the show, and all my banners were gone. I had to reinstall everything. So
No.
that's everything coming up. And as you guys in the chat saw, I put the link in there, psychic.cafe/coffee, if you want to grab us a cup of coffee. I'm going to grab that and pop it in the chat there. Also, I'm going to pop in the spring sale as well. So we do have the spring sale still going on for a little bit longer. You can also become a host on the network. I'll pop that link in as well. You can be a regular host on here with us, get your feet wet. Maybe you always wanted to start your own podcast, YouTube show. This is a great way to get started. Even if you spin off and, leave our network at some point. We've done that for, gosh, how many, Michelle? How many, Rose? You remember all the past hosts.
A lot.
50, 75
Yeah, we've had a lot.
people. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of people that got their sea legs, so to speak, as being a podcast host and or a YouTube channel, YouTube host this way by joining us as a host on the network. And we're still celebrating 20 years of the Tarot Guild, almost 20 and a half now.
Yay.
Yeah.
Our new website for the Tarot Guild that we launched for the 20th anniversary is Psychic Cafe. That's how they go together. It's actually the website for the guild, and it's free. It's free to join Psychic Cafe. In fact, it's psychic.cafe/register. That's it. Register. You get your own free profile. It's like signing up for Facebook. We have all the same features without any of the negative stuff on Psychic Cafe. And the spring sale that I mentioned, what that is, in fact, we had a spring sale, and this is spring sale number 2, where I've updated and upgraded it. So my course, which is normally $299, it's the Tarot by the Numbers course, where you learn tarot and numerology side by side in this unique 10-module self-paced online course. It's on sale for $100 off, $199 now, or you can go the route of 3 payments of $69. You're going to see that theme reoccur. Everything's $69. So 3 payments of $69. And if you want to go pro, we're talking about how we're going to for the rest of the year, aim the Tarot Guild and what we're doing on Psychic Cafe to help our members go pro. Your professional certification and membership in the guild is included when you enroll in my course. Now, if you don't need my course, you're already a tarot reader. Professionals can get certified, normally $138 per level. Right now, $69. And you'll find the link for that to get certified. Or if you're already certified, to get the next level, higher level of certification, you can use the same link on the private members group on Psychic Cafe on the website. And of course, you have to be a member to go on the private members group. You can join the guild for $69. That's right. Normally $78 a year. It's on sale for $69. What you'll also find at psychic.cafe/spring is my readings, normally $99.99. They're on sale for $49.99 right now. And it includes my numerology, life coaching. And, we just went through that whole conversation about, raise your prices. And, I'm actually lowballing it. If you go over to psychic.cafe/Dax, my page, it'll tell you right there, private sessions, just $99.99, regularly $149. So they're already on sale. But to help everybody out, I put them on sale for the spring sale. You'll find it towards the bottom of the page at psychic.cafe/spring. There we go. So there's all the announcements and plugs there. And what was that first question? I don't know how many we're going to be able to get in because we're rapidly running out of time, but I thought it was Drops of Jupiter, a message from the universe.
Yeah.
Asking for guidance through depression. Who wants to pull cards on that? You got cards going on that, Michelle, already?
Yeah. So looking for guidance through depression. Okay. So here's what we have. We have the Ace of Wands. There are opportunities that are in front of you, and it's being handed to you. But I get with depression that it's hard to see those opportunities. So what you need to do is, we have the Queen of Cups and we have the Nine of Cups. So you need to take all of your emotions and start counting them. Literally count out what emotions are beneficial, what emotions are hurting, and start sorting them. Write them out and start sorting them into sections, because you want to start throwing away emotions, feelings, thoughts, even actions that are holding you back. But the trick is, there are 9 cups here. So you have to start with one emotion at a time, because when you are ready to step into your fullness again, you want to be able to use all of your emotions in a balance to be able to step forward and start manifesting. And that's great because it's there for you to do. It's right there. You just have to get all your emotions into these cups and get them sorted out. Once you do that, you're going to be on the right track to getting your depression taken care of. But I am not a doctor, so make sure you do see a doctor as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Next up is hold on again. I gotta scroll back. It's Diamond, I believe. Message from the universe on my husband's continual drama and anger. And then the next one after that, I think isn't till all the way down to Janessa, who asks, I'm wondering if I will ever see and talk to Jamie again. So Michelle or somebody else, if you guys want to grab that. Meanwhile, let me scroll back up. Let's see, we just did drops, and then here's the one from Diamond on here. So what I'm getting is that he feels attacked from all sides. And there's issues going on beyond you and his relationship, but also you. You're at least one of these. Okay. And what you need to do is you need to have the internal strength and fortitude to make it through this, bumpy patch, and to realize that, he needs help. Okay. And let me sometimes I like to keep rereading the question to make sure I'm on track here. So, continual drama, you have to be able to ride the ups and downs and have the internal fortitude, and then try to, bring him to a realization, the judgment call, the great wake up call is what this card is, and I'm not getting like a very specific thing on this. Okay. But he needs to come to the realization, perhaps on his own, but you, with your internal strength, can ride the waves and move forward with helping him come to a realization on, where the drama and the anger is coming from and how to deal with that. So I hope that helps you out. And we're going to go to that next. Oh, and Sherry came in, and I forgot to mention, Sherry, if you want to pop a question in real quick. Otherwise, we're going to end after. Okay. Scrolling back again. Janessa's question here. I'm wondering if I will ever see and talk to Jamie again. Who pulled cards on that? Was that you, Michelle?
I did, but I wanted to see if anybody else did first.
Yeah, Linda or anybody wants to pull cards, that's fine.
Can you repeat that again? So I want to.
I'm wondering if I will ever see and talk to Jamie again. That's a question from Janessa.
Right. Okay. So so the first card I've got is the Four of Cups, and I don't know what Jamie means. It sounds like there's some deep unfinished business there. But with the Four of Cups, I'm wondering if, in fact, that really would be, whether it really would be helpful. I get the feeling from this card that probably what you are looking for might not be what you think it is. And so you think you might want something in particular, but in fact, it's something else. And so with this card, I think you need to get past the strong, the disappointment and dissatisfaction somehow, and look for whatever it is that will make you satisfied. I'm not sure I'm making much sense there, but there's something of a dead end a bit with the Four of Cups. I'm not sure that looking for answers is necessarily the right thing. Does that make sense?
Okay, we'll see if we get some feedback in the chat. That was great. Thanks, Linda. And I totally knew where you were going with that. Diamond says thanks. And just to go back on that, jump back on that again, is
Nice.
with that card that I got with the judgment and especially the strength for you. When I saw Diamond's response in the chat after I pulled cards, it made me think that what I should have said is really you have to become his rock. That's what the strength card along with the judgment card I think is talking about. So just add a little more tidbit in there for you, Diamond. Janessa says, yes, that makes sense. Great. And that's it. We are at the end of the show. We only went over a little bit. Oh my God. Thanks for being here, Dr. Rose.
Yes.
I'm hoping that you'll pop on more shows. And I know you're not in a position where you're reading the tarot right now, but just because a lot of the topics we're going to be doing, including this coming Sunday and for the foreseeable future, are going to be on the business aspect. I think it'd be great for you to be there and just put your 2 cents in.
Oh, definitely. I could
Words
definitely
of
do that.
wisdom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely would love to do that. Yeah. And you guys make me want to be a tarot reader. I mean, I used to do tarot years ago, but I was
Long
using it
time
by
ago.
myself, and I was one of those people. I don't like this answer. Let me find another one. I became totally obsessed, and I said, "Okay, I'm done." But
Well,
I'm thinking I'm seriously thinking about getting back into it in some form or fashion because I love doing tarot readings. I just for myself I just got way too
yeah.
obsessed. Yeah.
Well, you're naturally intuitive, so it wouldn't be a difficult thing to just pick it
Right.
back up again.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's
on our website, I'm trying to find you on our website. What's your profile name on our website? Because I'm not getting you as Dr. Rose, Rosie.
I'm not sure what it is. I was on it not too long ago. Hold on, let me
Yeah, I seen you on there not too
Rosie,
long ago.
Rose. Oh, there you are. Coach Shakti.
is it under Coach Shakti? Okay.
Yeah, actually you have both where it says Dr. Rose, aka Coach Shakti. We love that. I'm trying to find you over here. Wow, it is just making it really difficult to bring you up in other parts of the web. I was trying to see if you are no users found. Okay, let me try something else real quick here.
Do you want me to share the link or something or
No, I found your page. I'm just trying to find here. Hold on. Oh, okay. That's why I couldn't find you. I was trying to add you to the course group, but you're already in the course group. You're already a member. That's why you weren't coming up. Because I was
yeah.
going to say, go watch through my course,
Yeah,
and,
I've been thinking about it.
and
Yeah, I definitely have been.
you'll be a tarot reader in no time
Yes.
and know a lot about numbers.
I think the way that I'm going, I'll probably have like 5 different channels, YouTube channels, one for tarot, one for the business of tarot.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
Gary, who I'm hoping he makes it through rehab soon for
Yeah.
his stroke.
Mhm.
I'm hoping he comes back, maybe not 100%, but at least where he can participate and so forth. And
Yeah.
when we were having that discussion about taking the YouTube channel and our shows and our workshops and classes that we do and everything and aiming it towards the business side of things, because that's what our members actually need. They don't need to learn tarot. Well, but I mean, most of them know how to read tarot. They just don't know how to start, grow their business, what have you. And Gary, had mentioned that too, about, he wants to help. And I know you said you want to help, and he's, definitely on the side of us doing that. And he even mentioned what you just did about maybe we need an additional podcast, an additional channel.
Why not?
That's
Yeah.
just aimed at the business of tarot. And we can, that doesn't mean we can't refer to this channel, Psychic Cafe, and here during these shows we could send people, hey, if you're in the business of tarot, or you're a professional psychic medium, go over to this channel, and cross promote, which is what everybody does. But it seems from the aspect of how YouTube and the algorithm and everything functions, you're much better off if you have very delineated content, to not have 3 or 4 or 5 different genres on one channel. You want them to all be different channels, because those are all different audiences.
Exactly.
And me as a Gemini, I'm an eclectic, and I put everything together, and I see everything as the same thing. I lump hypnosis and tarot together with technology. I see it all as the same thing. It's all of my interests come from the same point, but it doesn't work for the algorithm, and so I want to have one channel also, so I don't have to run 5, and create content for 5. But really, that's the way you should do it. So let's say you're a tarot reader. This is, and I know we're going over here, but let's say you're a tarot reader and you're trying to niche. We're not saying you have to niche as the financial reader, or the what's one of the other ones we said, the romance reader, or only. You can start with one, start building content for a channel, and then launch a second one where your niche is just this thing, completely different thing, and you have another one where you help people using tarot and life coaching skills to clear the clutter, figuratively and literally, out of their lives. You could have another one where you use tarot to help people break blocks and remove phobias from their life. So you could end up having 3, 4, 5 different channels, and that'll help you with gaining audience. And you won't be getting all these different people with all these different things, which I know some people want, but you don't want to be the fortune teller. You want to be solving a problem. You want to be charging more. Maybe even creating a membership where it's $47 a month, $67 a month, that people can join, and you're doing group sessions, you're giving them content, things like that. So you put all this out there and grow the channels, and then see which one blows up. If 1 or 2 of them blows up and the other 3 not so much, shift your focus to the ones that are blowing up.
One of the things I do recommend is that if you haven't started a YouTube channel, focus on one first, because it is a lot to do unless you're really used to recording different, topics or whatnot for tarot. Definitely start with one first and get a firm grip on that one. These platforms are always changing, and you're always learning new things, and there are always new directions. Like YouTube didn't have short reels until just a few short years ago. It was longer videos or whatnot, so things can always change. But start off with one, or maybe you need to combine a couple of the niches. Maybe you're a specialist in love and health, or work in relationships. Relationships is a huge area that you can, do. So think about that as well. It doesn't have to be just one. I mean, you could do, I would say, no more than maybe three or
3.
so. But there are basically 4 areas that people like to talk about: love, health, work, and what's the other one? Well,
Oh,
sometimes people do spiritual things or whatnot.
Love,
So
health,
isn't it
spirituality.
family?
That's funny. I had that in my mind. I didn't say it. I was thinking, well, love could be family too. But
Mm.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
It could be love and relationships. That's a huge category.
Mm-hmm.
It just really depends upon how you do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know for me, like, I have 2 channels. I haven't announced it yet. Dan asked me about sending him the link, and I sort of started it, but I'll be recording this week. But I'm going to actually update my Psychic Cafe profile, which I did. I just realized, oh, there's an about section. Like, I uploaded 2 pictures, one of me and a
There's
background or
all
whatever
kinds of stuff you
banner,
can
but
put
totally
in there.
forgot about the about me section.
Yeah,
So
there's all stuff you can put in there. And if you need help with that, like, I've helped people build it out, because sometimes they want to put links and things, and you have to do the markdown language instead of the typical HTML to make it work. And I can show
right.
you how to do all that. I wanted to mention that Diamond, who had that question about her husband, Dan was asking in the chat, maybe couples therapy, counseling, and
Mhm.
she said he won't go. He's stubborn. It's expensive. Uh, hello.
Sounds like Dan. Oh,
No, what I'm getting at for our tarot life coaches,
Right.
see, people are looking for cheaper alternatives
mm-hmm.
than going to see somebody 2 or 3 times a week for 10 years. They want faster answers. And
Right.
if you learn NLP techniques, by the way, anybody listening heard me earlier, get a hold of me if you want to go through the same 5-course program that I went through. I'll get you a special price. Where was I going? They're looking, they want the tarot readers, their readers, to be life coaches. They want a less expensive alternative. And if you learn NLP, EFT, hypnosis, and life coaching techniques, you can help them a lot faster than a
Right.
traditional talk therapist counselor. And it's a lot cheaper,
Right.
So there's a perfect example. So, Diamond, if you're still on, get a hold of one of us. Maybe we could talk to your hubby. And for all you, budding readers out there, don't just read the tarot. Use the tarot as a tool to coach people.
Yes.
Okay, we got to get out of here. See, we have too much fun on these shows,
We could go on and on for another hour or 2.
I'm
Oh,
looking forward. I'm
easily.
looking forward to Sunday, because we'll have, I think Pamela will be there.
Oh,
Charlotte might be
yay.
back. Dr. Rose, I hope you show up too. And Linda,
Mm-hmm.
if you're around, and we can all chat. Can imagine, like, it'd be like Hollywood Squares. We'll all be
Yes.
yeah.
The tarot squares.
There you go.
Yes, yes. Bye, everybody. We'll see you on
Bye.
Saturday for Mystic Corner.
Crown Share
Cool.
Saturday.
Crown
Wear a
Share
crown. Bring
Saturday.
a
Bye,
deck of
everyone.
cards.
Wear a
See you
crown,
guys
bring a
soon.
deck.
Yeah.